Hi everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Comfortolaga Yadigbero and today with me is Simei Solua, and today we'll be talking about how you can apply for fully funded scholarship even though you do not have a first class or a second class hopper. And I would let you listen to Simi. She will share her experience, what she did, and how she was able to get a scholarship that helped her to study for her master's in Italy. So without wasting much time, thank you so much to me for agreeing to do this with me again, and welcome again to my channel. How are you doing?
I'm fine. Thank you very much, Comfort. It's
Okay.
nice having me here.
Thank you so much also. So could you please introduce yourself to everyone and, share your educational background, where you studied in Nigeria, what grade you graduated with, and why you decided to pursue higher education after your BSc?
Okay, for me in general, my name is Simi for short. I finished from the University of Ibadan, Department of Food Technology. I graduated with a 2-2, and I also had my MSc in Food Engineering, University of Salerno in Italy. And yeah, I finished with a pretty good grade, which is I think equivalent to first class in the Nigerian scaling system. And right now, I'm pursuing my PhD in industrial engineering in the University of Salerno. And what motivated me to I don't know, one of the reasons why I decided to look abroad for my master's was a better life, number one, and also to improve my experiences. And also, I chose Europe in specific because in terms of engineering, they are one, especially actually, I chose Germany. Let me state this first. Let me just say, I just ended up in Italy. I never got admission to German university, even though I tried, but I got admission to an Italian university, even with my 2-2. So, yes. And a disclaimer, I'm not saying that if you're in school or you're still in school, you should finish with a 2-2. Some of us, I don't know, it just happened based
Yeah.
on maybe different reasons. Yeah. So
Thank you so much to me for giving that
that's just
the details, and I'm sure you all heard the disclaimer she gave. Life happened, she came out with a 2-2, right? That doesn't mean you shouldn't put in the effort to the work and get, a better grade. So is it possible for someone with a 2-2 like you to get a fully funded scholarship, or it's just maybe a partial scholarship? Because I'm sure you didn't, maybe I shouldn't say I'm sure, I'll let you give the details. Your your MSc in Italy wasn't fully sponsored by you, right? And how were you able to pull that through with your 2-2 results? How did you search for opportunities? Were there, I know you mentioned Germany, but were there other countries you were also like considering? What were those things you were actually looking out for in your search?
okay. So initially, when I started applying for grad school abroad, I actually, this is the truth, I never considered myself getting a scholarship
Mm-hmm.
because I had a 2-2. So I think during my, let me just say, the application phase, I was opportuned to, I think then it was called Twitter, I think so. I was
Yeah.
opportuned to see or read someone's story who I think also finished from with a 2-2. And also, I think at that time he was doing his PhD in Germany. So
Mm.
that was what motivated me, even though it didn't motivate me for getting scholarship, but it motivated me like, okay, at least I could get admission outside um
Nigeria.
the country. And yeah, like for example, yes, I got Italy which was a coincidence, through a I don't know how to call it, a website. It's called mastersportals.com. I think in recent years they've developed and now they even have options for PhD. I think it's also called PhD portal. So they've really advanced like their
Mm.
database and even have school representatives now. So I found my school on that website in 2022,
Mm.
actually. So of course, when I got my admission, I was told that there were scholarship options, but I did not apply actually till the last day, or let me just say till the final ticking hours. So because I had people around me that, let me just say, were kind of like mentors to me. So it was one of my mentor who she was in Portugal and she was like, why don't you try? In fact, she was one of the people that pushed me for scholarships in general.
Mm.
So I just gave in at the last hour and I just applied for my school scholarship. Actually, when I applied, I was not expecting anything. I was already processing other things, the POF and all those things. But I don't know, one of the things that I don't know stood out for me was probably age and also the fact that I had a lot of volunteering experiences,
Mm.
like
Nice.
in top organizations like that had their headquarters, for example, in the US, and I had like a diploma, like I was kind of, I would not say like doing something. Yes, I was doing something related to food, but I also had other things I was doing related to industrial automation because
Mm.
I also did like a diploma after school, like in industrial automation. So I was a member of some let's say
Professional
organizations or
bodies.
some professional bodies and all those things. Yes. So and in some of these professional bodies I was actively volunteering, and also while doing my BSc I also volunteered and I had some certifications. So I'm not saying just have to, but also try to I don't know, give it
Yeah.
a
Boost your
meaning, or let me
portfolio.
just use,
Yeah.
yes. So yes, I was very selective. I did not choose the US because I also had this CGPA limitation mentality, like, oh, tutu, no, just forget about it. So yes, I think that's one of the things I regretted. I think also later in life, or maybe like at some point, I started seeing people with HND to getting scholarships in the US. I was like, oh wow, it's possible. And these are one of the things that social media like do for us. So actually,
Mhm.
initially I started with Germany and Ireland, but I didn't receive any reply from any of them until I tried my university, and I got admission. And of course, I looked out for my university in terms of, I don't know, what I wanted to achieve for my master's met my criteria. So and also met my budget in terms
Mm.
of the school fees and everything. Because as I said earlier, I was not, I don't know, see myself getting a scholarship. So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, when I got the fully funded scholarship, because it paid my tuition, and I only had to just pay like the regional tax, I think how it is in Nigeria, in Italy,
Yeah.
and they paid for my accommodation and food, even though there was no stipend. But as at now, the scholarship now has stipends. But
Wow.
then those days
Yeah.
they didn't. So
I remember.
yes, yeah. So now it now has. So as at then it was like that, but now they pay stipends and lunch and accommodation. So it's even language also included. So yeah, that's just how it is.
Thank you so much. That's very much detailed. And, like I used to tell people, sometimes you just have to, even if it's taking a pause or a break from your applications and build your portfolio. Just like Simi mentioned, she had like other qualifications, the diploma, she was volunteering, she had internships and all of that. So those things are also very important as size. Even people with first class results still try to get these things because they only would not just look at your grade sometimes. So if you are there with a 2-1 or a 2-2, try to also boost your portfolio, boost your qualification such that by the time they see the experiences you have, they know that at least you're bringing something to the table. All right. So
Yes.
you mentioned about the scholarship you ended up getting at your university. Could you share a bit more detail on that, and what makes people eligible for this scholarship?
Uh, Actually, I think that is one of the simplest scholarship applications that
Okay.
I don't know. I applied for. Let me just say the application for me. I think so. So it's you first get admission usually. It's called the University of Salerno Scholarship. I think that's what it's called. Now they pay stipend, accommodation, and food, and you don't have to pay tuition. The application starts for admission because the first process is admission. I think for my department, it starts, I think February to April or January to April. I can't remember, but early in the year to April. And once you get admission, usually the scholarship opening comes in, I think, around June, May, June. Then, if you get the scholarship, it's usually given in July. The eligibility is just you have to get admission. So
Hmm.
that's why the admission comes first. You have
Okay.
to get admission because you cannot apply for it without getting an admission. And there are other requirements like having recommendation letters from people that probably your references. It's quite simple. It's just things you need for admission. You clearly need for it. It's
So no
not.
essays
No,
or
no, it's not complicated, actually.
what's
Yeah, it's not complicated. So that's why I said it's one of the most. In fact, it's
easy.
recently that they started adding this referencing. During my time, it wasn't like that.
Wow.
So I
Hmm.
just applied for admission and I went to Universally. I did my pre-enrollment. That was all you needed to get the scholarship. But now you just need to do the other part. So that's why I said it was the
Yeah.
simplest. That's why I said that
Wow.
it was the
That's
simplest.
really nice because you did your research and you were able to find that kind of school, because most of the scholarships you apply for, at least you have to do something. Really.
Yeah. And in
Exactly.
fact, I think for my department, there's even no separate interview for it. So
Really?
whatever you do at the first phase, which is the admission phase, that is what determines the end. I don't know, maybe some
That's,
other
yeah,
departments, they do the interview again. I have no idea, but in mine, no.
that's good. So from what you said now, the scholarship is usually awarded by department also. So it means maybe each department will have certain number of people.
Yes. Yes, usually it's the university scholarship and they have a quota for every country.
Mm,
So they pick every country depending on the ranking. So whatever you get, so I don't know, the
mm,
highest to the lowest. So if, for example, a country has 10 slots, sorry, a continent has 10 slots, they try to mix different nationalities. So North Africa, West Africa, so
mhm.
also Colombians, them just different nationalities. So they try
Yeah.
to do like that.
That makes sense. Thank you so much for sharing this. So it means if you're watching this right now and you think, oh, University of Salerno might be a good option for you, I'm sure they would have different courses. You just have to check the university website and see if your course or program of interest is on the website. Now is the time for you to start checking what documents do I need? How do I boost my application? Is there an internship I need to go and enroll for now, so that by the time you are applying next year, January or April, you have something in your portfolio that will give you a better chance to be
Yes, I
selected there. Thank you so much, Simi. So, scholarship wasn't the main thing from the beginning, but from you talking, you probably tried applying for some other scholarships that you think you would be eligible for as tutu. And you also mentioned that, oh, through social media, you were able to see that, oh, even with tutu, people are getting fully funded scholarship in the US. That means you probably have an idea of other opportunities that people with tutu could apply for in terms of getting funding for their study abroad. Could
Yeah,
you share that with us?
yes, I think there's a scholarship in Sweden called, I think, the Sweden Institute. I don't really remember the full name, but it's a scholarship that I don't look at your CGPA. I've heard stories of people with third class get it. I think
Wow.
what just matters is experience. So, recommendation. So, if I don't know, you are interested, I think the application for that, I think you also need to get admission first. I don't really know how it works, anyways, but you can just search for it. I think AI now is everybody's savior now. If you just search for it with, I think the key words I said, definitely it would give you the name. I know it's called Swedish Institute. I think it's the acronym is SIGEP, if I remember. I
SIGEP.
if
Okay.
yes, I think that is the acronym if I'm correct. Yeah, I think that should be the acronym. So if
Okay.
the person, I think that should be the acronym if I'm right. And there are other scholarships, for example, that people can apply for that don't require like I don't know CGPA. I've also had stories of someone in also that got a scholarship with a tutu also in Italy too.
Okay.
So, at the University of Napoli. So it's not
Napoli.
I think sometimes yes, it just depends on experience. But this person had a very good work experience in Nigeria and worked with one of the top food manufacturers in Nigeria. So sometimes experience also matters.
Yeah. Talking about the US, the person that you maybe probably saw, do you remember if the person mentioned certain things that helped maybe him or her get that funding with the tutu?
Scholarship. I don't really remember this
Okay.
because it was a long time ago. I think it was my first
Mm,
year also in Italy. So also I
okay.
think it was also the same way I also stumbled on the person also in Germany. But also if
Germany.
you ask me, I cannot recall their names.
Mm,
So universe just sends algorithms to your phone
definitely.
to just sometimes encourage you in
Yeah.
particular situations that you are. So, for example, the person in Germany, I don't remember his name, and also this post too also was seen on one of the social media, maybe on LinkedIn or something. I don't remember. I
Yeah.
also saw it's also the same. So I was also that same period. I also realized also with HND people can get
Yeah.
scholarship also to the US. I also did not know before then.
Me
So
neither. Until recently.
that's just one.
I actually interviewed someone sometime last year or so. She had 7 fully funded scholarship and she had HND while in Nigeria. Although she was the one I encouraged that it is necessary
Wow.
to take
So
like a year break to build yourself right before you start applying, right? And maybe some of these schools will not necessarily state on their
yeah,
website that we accept HND, but try, let them know what you have, push yourself,
HND.
and just make the attempt, right? Thank you so much, Simi. And I was just checking, I
Yeah,
think that scholarship you
it's
were
better.
talking
How they
about.
say?
Okay, you were saying something.
No, I was just trying. Yeah, I was just trying to say that never say never.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so I was just checking online. That scholarship you were talking about is Swedish Institute Scholarship for Global Professionals, and it is SISGP.
Ah,
So if you are
okay.
watching this and you think you might be interested in that,
Okay, I think
I
I was
would.
quite accurate.
Yeah. So, like you said, AI has really helped because I just typed SIGEP scholarships within institutes and it just brought out something that was really close to that. So, thank you so much for that, Simi. So, I would probably
You're
check, and
welcome.
if it's something worth making a video on, I would, so that you guys would be able to see more details on how to apply for that. And you already mentioned the things you probably did to make your academic profile more robust, but do you want to like all over that just a little bit again?
Okay. Like I said initially, while I was doing my BSc, I had some volunteering and internship experiences in companies, and one of them like the one of the top leaders also in Nigeria.
Mm.
So I had I don't know quite, let me just say, in that part. And like I always advise people in general that um you may need to intern even for free, maybe for just some internships to pay, but sometimes putting the I don't know how to call it that name, you don't know what it may
Yeah,
like the impact that name. So it can even be your community hospital. I don't know how they call it in Nigeria for people that are in the medical sector. maybe the community hospital or something, your place or a clinic. Like sometimes it just takes just little. So also before I finished my PSC, I had like a diploma in automation and mechatronics
Mm.
for 1 year. So just like a 1 year program that also I finished after my BSc, and also volunteered with the body, like the Nigerian what's it called? The Nigerian subsection of that body. And also in my first year in Italy during my MSc, I also won like an award, or like
Mm.
automation scholarship award also, also for this from this organization actually. So sometimes also taking some certification, joining some professional bodies is also, it gives you I don't know how to call it, this
The
visibility
leverage, yeah.
that okay, oh yes, it gives visibility and leverage against some things. Like I also advise people that are in school, even conferences, as little as conferences, let's say for example, if you're in Nigeria in Ibadan, like some conferences are even happening. There's the time also it happened to me that some conferences were happening in my school and I didn't even know.
Mm.
So try to be aware of your environment. Some of these conferences can help, because I've also heard a story. That's why the internet is a great space. I've also heard the story of someone who said he met his PhD supervisor in a conference he attended in another country. So,
Yeah.
of course, when he attended this conference, it was not sponsored. So sometimes it just takes, I don't know, this
Sacrifice.
spirit.
Yeah.
So yes, sacrifice. So you don't know if maybe that's what would be seen, and boom, maybe that person just aligned maybe with the goal of that organization, or maybe what you did, and that would just be it.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Simi. And I can relate to what you said, especially with that internship, even if sometimes they don't pay you. Remember when I finished my undergrad and I was like, I don't think I have enough experience. So I decided to go and do internship in IIT in Ibadan for 3 months then. And that was the only 3 months I could get because I wanted to continue doing my NYC, but I wasn't posted to Ibadan, so I couldn't. But
Yeah,
I will tell you that that 3 months it's very much valuable, I'm sure, during my application because I was able to get a reference letter from my supervisor in IIT then when I was applying for like my Commonwealth scholarship. And I think it was really helpful. Imagine them seeing IIT and the one in Ibadan
it's
was
a,
actually the headquarter. Do you understand, right?
yes,
So
it's like it's very global. It's
yeah,
a top institute, so
exactly. So it's very important, right? And just like the PGD, she also mentioned that she was doing the diploma. It's also a plus if you can. Sometimes these things take sacrifice and you spending a little bit of money, right? And if you feel like, oh, I don't have the money yet, why not maybe work for a while and from the job try to sponsor yourself little by little, step by step, rather, until you're able to get enough that'll help you. And if you're someone that also trusts in God, God is also someone that will never leave you. And when he's seeing your efforts, he would also like try to support you in one way or the other. So thank you so much, Simi, for sharing those points with us. And sure you probably face some challenges, some things that might have discouraged you one way or the
yes,
other.
like we
Can
call them.
we?
I think I think now people call them love letters. I received a lot of love letters
Yeah.
from universities that, of course,
Mm.
this, if I remember that, one of the backstory that I also did not give was that I remember that actually my school that I got the scholarship uh, also told me no
Wow.
initially. And I was like, okay, no, why? So I think at that point in time, I already hit I don't know, the threshold of the love letter was. So I just had to ask why that, like, what is going on? Tell me, let me know. So they just told me the reason, and you know what solved the problem?
What?
Was my departmental handbook or my faculty
Mm.
handbook. I don't know how they
Mm.
call it in other schools.
Yeah.
Was what sorted the problem.
The one from
And
Ibadan, right?
yes, no, not
Hmm.
from Ibadan. When I came to when I was applying
Okay,
to my
okay,
university in Italy, so
okay.
and it was the handbook from University of Ibadan that sorted out this issue.
Mm,
So
yeah.
sometimes um one of the things I just realized is because I don't know, some of these countries, especially those of us that apply to countries that are non-English speaking, let me just it's quite difficult for them to understand I don't know, like the course contents because they are just seeing a vague
Mm,
transcript. So through my handbook, they were able to understand, oh, I did these courses, so I had the basic knowledge. So, and I was admitted. So I received a lot of, even some people were not encouraging. And for me, I try to encourage people that come out or finish with a tutu that it's not the end of the world. And it
mm,
doesn't mean that because, for example, I told you that I saw that guy from Germany. It doesn't mean
mm,
that you will not achieve anything. I think right now, as the last time I kept track of this person, he was working for one of the top research institutes in
mm.
Germany. And that was someone that had a tutu. So sometimes just life that happens.
Yeah.
You know why some people have 2-2, why some people have 2-1. Some people like it's just 1 point away from 2-1. So it's just like that. So that's how life is. So you just need to move on and not dwell on like the failure. Just learn from it. And for example, like I said during my masters in the I think in the Nigerian grade, I graduated with a first class. So
Mm,
you just imagine how someone from 2-2 graduated with a first class at
yeah,
at the master's level. So that's why that's just life. So there will always be challenges. Every I
definitely.
don't think everything about life is smooth. It's never always smooth.
Yeah.
So you just if you're applying to 200 schools, 50 schools, just know that there will always be rejections.
Mm,
Some will say no, and sometimes you can also be very I don't know, polite to ask. Some of them will tell you the reason and it's fine. So you can use it to work next on the I don't know the next school
application.
application that you are applying for. So maybe it's your CV issue or if it's your CGPA and all those things. So it helps.
Yeah, thank you so much, Simi. I think two things I've picked from this is number one, your failures do not define you, so don't just dwell on it. Try to still go ahead. And second thing that you can put into application is
Yeah.
even if a rejection comes, try to find out why. Not all of them would respond to you, but it doesn't hurt to send out that email to them just to ask questions because you never can tell. Just that information might help you work on your next application even, much better. So as we'll be rounding up, what useful resources or maybe websites do you think you want to? I know you mentioned the mastersportal.com, right? That's the name.
Yes.
So are
Yes.
there like
Yes.
other resources that you think people wanting to apply for scholarships, especially with tutu, can use?
No, no, yes. Yeah. For me, this may sound very, I don't know, very funny, but for me, I think that website is still it for me even till today. Because even
Mm,
when I was applying for PhD, I also used I don't know, the PhD version. I don't know if they
mm,
have a BSc version, I don't know, but I only know of the masters and the PhD version. So it's a website that gives you you just type in your course, electrical engineering. You can type the
mm.
country, and they give you information, including on scholarships. And if you need people that are in that school, they even give you access
Wow.
for you to meet them. So it's quite, I don't know. But for me, I don't think there's any website like that. So that's why I said I may sound a little bit biased. I don't
Mm,
know. But for me in 2022, it was not even as advanced as this actually. It's of
mm,
recent, it became advanced. So they were able to tell me the school fees of my school, if they had a scholarship, etc. Like a lot of information, the websites you
mm.
can apply from, and for like you can click to apply. So it was I don't know, I don't think I've ever come across any websites
More like
like
one
that
size
in
fits
my
all.
opinion. Yeah, so and also now that we have the advent of AI,
Mm-hmm.
so I'll tell a lot of people, like I tell a lot of people, use it in your advantage. It's for me it has an advantage. At least now it can give you places you can apply to that have scholarship or your courses. So
Yeah.
that's just it. And I think for Italy too, they have like the Universally website that gives you schools where you can apply to if they have scholarship. I don't know, but also schools that have scholarship, they also have section for that. So you can, I don't know, plan. And I think in Italy now the application season is open for some schools. So
Nice.
it's it's quite, I don't know, easy to start preparing and start applying or shooting your shots. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Simi. And while we're at it, now that you mentioned that in Italy, the applications are open. If you are not following Nigerian scholars in Italy on LinkedIn, you are wrong. So you should be following them honestly. And Simi is doing a really, in fact, great is less of a word to describe the job she's doing, managing that page and sharing all of those updates on admissions, scholarship opportunities. It has everything you need, trust me, if you want to study in Italy. So check out Nigerian Scholars in Italy page on LinkedIn. I think that's where they are most active, where you find most of the information. They're also on Instagram, I believe. But is there a YouTube
Yes,
channel
and on
yet?
X. And no, yes, we have,
Okay.
but it's not active. So we are more active on LinkedIn, X
Okay.
sometimes, and Instagram. But LinkedIn is preferred if you want to, I don't know, keep
Get
yourself up to
information.
date.
Yeah, that's something to take note of. So usually I used to refer students, I want to tell them, go and check Nigerian scholars in Italy on LinkedIn. So if that's something that interests you, please do check out the page. Trust me, you won't go wrong checking out that page. So as we're rounding up, what is one last advice just to cement everything down that you give to people out there watching this video as they will be going back to their application? That one thing you want them to take home? Yeah.
I would just say that it's one of the things that I learned on this journey is just resilience. You have
Mm,
to be resilient. That's just it. Because if somebody says no to you and you don't, in fact, I've seen like I told you, I've heard a lot of stories. I've heard a lot of stories of people telling me, like if some people they applied to a school twice, they won't
mm,
get the admission or even scholarship. And the third time, like I have someone close to me that happened. So if not because of resilience. So sometimes you just have to be resilient, like you said, and be bold. Um, Present yourself well,
yeah.
yes, and also prepare because yeah, I mean, I used to say that you're competing with the whole world, not only Nigerians when you're applying,
Mm,
or Africa. So you're competing with everyone. So prepare like you're competing with everybody. Don't
mm,
even think you're just competing with two or three people because you don't know who you are, I don't know, you're competing with. Another advice that I have, especially for people that have tutu, and I think that that was one of the strategies that worked for me was applying for schools that are not competitive.
mm,
Because, for example, I think Comfort, the school you went to, they clearly stated that if you don't have this CGPA, like Padova, Politecnico di Milano, there are schools that clearly stated that if you don't have this CGPA to this CGPA, you are not
mm,
welcomed in their university. So try to know this information before applying. And there are a lot of schools that are not competitive that you can still have your masters, and some of them even have scholarships.
yeah.
So because if my school was highly competitive like Padova or Milan, I wouldn't have probably gotten the scholarship or even
Yeah.
admission in general.
Mm,
So just try to look at schools that are not competitive for whatever country you're looking at. If you don't really have like a good grade, you can also channel also to the highly competitive ones. But me, I always tell people that yes, you can do it 50-50, but yeah, kind of, but just have a formulation for it. So
that's
that's just
true.
one of the things that I learned because
Yeah.
for two two, you just Yes, I've also seen tutu that gets admissions to highly competitive schools too. It doesn't mean you cannot. Yes, you can, but also try because some people just focus on, I don't know, we call it top Ivy League schools, or I don't know if that's the name they call it. Ivy League schools, if that's the name, because that's what I think initially I did. I focused on like
Ivy League, like top
yes,
ranked ones.
yes, TU Dublin, like a lot
Mm,
of school, like I said, Dublin in Germany, TU Munich. I was focusing
mm.
on a lot of big schools that were very competitive. And when I switched it up and I went to my school, they even
It was just
they
easy.
even welcomed me with, let me just say, with open arms and with scholarship because
Yeah.
in fact, if someone told me that I was going to get a scholarship, I would have told the person that the person was lying. Yes,
But thank
the
God for your
person was lying.
testimony.
Yes, so
Yeah.
try to also focus on, let me just say, quite schools that are not competitive because there are actually some of them.
Mm. Thank you so much, Simi. Like, is very good. Like for sharing all of this, invaluable because there's no way you can quantify how much value you have shared today. And I'm sure anybody watching this will find this very, very helpful. When
Yeah.
you're in your scholarship journey, things can be frustrating sometimes, and you might feel like, oh, I have to how can I still like get? I was speaking. Funny thing was because I volunteer on this platform called Hedufoda. So check out Hedufoda if you're watching this in case you need like mentorship advice on your grad school application. There are different mentors who are there just volunteering to help Nigerians and maybe even Africans or anybody who wants to register. You can book a session with them and you share your problems with them. They advise you and all of that. So the last person I had like this meeting with, she was saying, "Oh, I don't have good grade." And I remember that Simei is still owing me a YouTube interview. So she gave me that. So if she's watching this now, she gave me that motivation to go ahead and start shooting video again because I'm like, oh, I've been busy. But I was like, okay, what video can I shoot based on the things she discussed with me? I remember that since, was it not last December or something, I was supposed to have this video with her, but
Yes, it's
then
been. In fact, actually, when you asked me again, subconsciously, I thought that I thought we've done it until I
even
realized
me too,
that,
I had
oh
to go and
no,
check, like, did we already do this video? Because I was like, it's been a while actually, right? But
yeah,
thank you so much, Simi. Thank you for
yeah, you're
taking out
welcome.
time out of your busy schedule for sharing this with us. And I'm sure your word has encouraged somebody sharing this, and at least
Yes,
maybe it's pointing them in the right direction if they have been going this way and hitting the
they
hammer
can
on
go.
something that will
Yes,
not break. Yeah, right. So I'm sure it's leading them in the right direction, and I believe they'll share their testimony soon. So if you
yes,
found this
and
video, okay.
sorry. One of the things I also wanted to say, because I just remembered while we were talking when you said mentorship. Funny enough, one of the things I did was
Okay.
also having a mentor that, let me not say had a bad grade, because I have a mentor that's finished also with a third class in
Hmm.
electrical engineering, and the person works for also good, like a lot of top companies in the US. Like, I'm not kidding. So I would also advise that if you are targeting a particular, I don't know, a country, and it's like, try to, definitely, even in the US, if you are trying to target the US, there will be people that have two in the US. So the
Hmm.
internet is your friend. Just
Yeah.
type, you will definitely find someone like that in, probably in the US, or even in Canada, like places that you wouldn't, for example, like I found someone in Germany. So when you listen to these people's story, or like now you're listening to my story, it gives you this assurance that, oh, you're not alone. And it also
Yeah.
gives you like tips also to re-strategize.
Hmm. That's true. That's very true. It just reminded me of something one of my friends. She said, oh, she never believed, not like she had to, she had a good result, definitely, but she never believed that people can just get scholarship to go abroad. But then she saw one brother that she knew, that like, if this brother can get it, almost,
Then you can.
myself, I'll be able to. So if you're watching this video, if Simi was able to, if countless people out there that she has mentioned were able to, definitely you also can. You just have to believe in yourself, take the necessary steps that are required and trust God for His grace and His help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God is
So,
important. Yeah. Thank you so much
so
for having me.
yeah, thank you so much, Simi. And I guess this will be the end of this video. So drop your comments if you have questions. If you found the information in this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and just comment how helpful the video was, and also comment to thank Simi in the comment section. Don't forget to go and subscribe and follow Nigerian Scholars in Italy on LinkedIn, Instagram, and on X, wherever they are. Just go and follow them. Okay. So till we meet again, do stay comforted. Ciao.